We were gods, and we shall be gods again.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Yahweh Shai given us those immortal bodies. So what do you think that means? That means that we're going to be gods. Meaning we're not going to get sick. We're not going to get old. We're not going to die. We're going to be like gods. That word God, when you go into Hebrew, the word there's Elohim, which means powers. Now let's not forget, brothers, the name Israel means in the Hebrew, Yashra Allah means he, prince, power. Literally means he, prince, power. In other words, a god.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutation, hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And what I want to get into today, all right, this morning, dealing with, Isaiah, 56 and 8. And, what we have to understand, especially, when you deal with Christians, since their doctrine has nothing to do with the Bible, all these precepts, in the Bible, and they try to find one or two, and create a doctrine on those precepts, man, and ignore the rest of the narrative of the Bible, and that's why for the longest, because no one, was really into the Bible, into the prophets, hit the scene, and really start breaking things down, beginning with our elders and their elders. But before then, people just had a understanding of the Bible based on, what the status quo was, okay? The narrative of Esau, Edom, and, these set up pastors, okay? But now, as, the true narrative of the Bible is being made known abroad, now you have, Christians, reaching and trying to find one precept to try to debunk the whole Bible with, and that's why the scripture tell you precept must be on precept and line upon line, because I know, it still happens now, but especially when I first, started reading for myself, through the narrative of the truth, that I would read one precept and it wouldn't make sense, until brothers kept stacking precepts on top of it, and those precepts explain other precepts, okay? And that's how we learn the Bible, and that's how we're instructed, precept on precept, line upon line. Now, let's get Isaiah 56 and 8. It said, the Lord power, which gathered the outcasts of Israel, saith, yet will I gather others to him, besides those that are gathered unto him. And see, a Christian to look at that and say, that's inclusive to all nations. No, you got to understand the story, all right, of Israel. You got to understand the split between the northern and southern kingdom, and you got to understand the Hellenization, all right, of the southern kingdom during the time of the Greeks, okay, which that turned, a large portion of our people into a no people, as was prophesied, all right. Now, just real quick, this is Isaiah 56 and 8. It said, the Lord which gathered the outcasts of Israel saith, yet will I gather others to him, besides those that are gathered unto him. Now, let's get this, because Yahweh Shai spoke, something similar. Now, this is, that's like, get St. John chapter 10. Okay. And what did Yahweh Shai say? This is St. John 10 and 15. Said, as the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also must I bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Okay, one fold. Why? Because you had division amongst Jake. There was two main divisions. the split of the northern and southern kingdom, and the split between, okay, the circumcision and the uncircumcised. Okay, Israel was in shambles when Yahushua hit the scene, man, and there was a lot of our people that was lost. Okay, that's why he said this in Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10. All right, verse 5, it says, these 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? Those sheep that was lost was Israelites. You know, but they became a no people through what, man? Hellenization. Okay? In the northern kingdom, they were heavy into paganism. All right? Coming out of the Syrian captivity. You know, it was a generation that left and came over here to keep the laws. But then what happened, man? They was infested with paganism again, man. You see, there was a no people. All right? So Yahushua was speaking of the uncircumcision in the northern kingdom. Okay? Now, real quick, and see, when you put precepts on precepts, then you gotta have some. Now you gotta explain some things. Now listen to this. The second Ezra 2:34. It says, and therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen. Okay, and they'll read that and what? See, you know. But keep reading. It says they hear and understand. Look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand that shall come in the end of the world. Look for your shepherd, you heathen. Letting you know this shepherd is a capital S, which is Yahushua. Okay? And Yahushua came to be a deliverer for who? His people. So these heathens will have to be Israelites. And then it mentions what? Everlasting rest. Okay? The only nation that's prophesied to have everlasting life, everlasting kingdom is Israel. Let's get it. You see? Matter of fact, let's read in the same chapter. This is 2nd Ezra 2:10. It said, thus said the Lord unto Ezra, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel. You see? Tell Israel that look, I'm going to give them the kingdom that I would have been gave them. You know, but we had to play out, you know, this script, man. Okay, according to prophecy, man. Verse 11, their glory will I take unto me, which is immortality, and give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I have prepared for them. Letting you know that it's speaking of Israelites. So it said, O ye heathen, look for your shepherd, and he will give you everlasting life. There has to be Israelites. This promise of immortality was only made to Israelites, man. Matter of fact, let's get that, man. You see, when you put precepts, now it paints the picture. Okay? Because our people, you know, we were likened unto heathens, man. When we was after the Greekish fashion, man. Okay? Now, this is Sirach 37:25. It says, the days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable. So these heathens, their days, their life span can be numbered. But there's going to come a time where Israel will be immortal. Okay? So just that alone lets you know who are those that are being gathered. Okay, Yahushua came to gather, okay, people from the circumcision, people from the uncircumcised, the northern kingdom, and that's why you have the house of David, all tribe coming back as one. Okay? And they should have one shepherd in one fold. Because when you go to Ezekiel, let's get straight to the point. Ezekiel 30, I want to say it's 36. Okay, about 20. Now, when you go to let me find it real quick. I want to get straight to the point. You know, like I say, because these precepts, you know, paint a picture, man. I probably was right reading over. Because when you go to this stick, okay, that's the gathering of one fold. All right. When you go to the stick, that's the gathering of one fold. Here you go. This is Ezekiel 37. All right. And I started started 22. This is Ezekiel 37:22, and it says, "And I will make them one nation in the land," okay, "in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all," man. So that gathering was the reuniting of the two kingdoms and the reuniting of, you know, the circumcision and the uncircumcised, man. You know, all under Yahushua, man. That shepherd, okay? So, Lord will, you was edified. Till next time I say shalom.